from over 50 plus gourmet meal options, cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commit. Welcome to the One Shop Gourmet Food Delivery, specializing affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from homebistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with homebistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with homebistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information. whothatdaily.com. That's right, the whothatdaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, the whothatdaily.com is your site. The whothatdaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, Who Dat Nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who Dat to the black and gold family, man. Hump Day edition. Sports Coma, we in this thing. Big ups to the great Saint Think Tank. Appreciate y'all for chiming in on this episode of the Sports Coma. Big ups to the fantastic family members. I salute the great Saint Think Tank. Big ups to the family members. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q chiming in. And you are the great Saint Think Tank, the best of the Who Dat Nation, the best of the black and gold world. Much love to the great Saint Think Tank and the entire Who Dat Nation, baby. Big ups to you. Appreciate you guys being in this one. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend as we get going with our Monday edition. What I say, the Hump Day edition? I hope I ain't say Hump Day. Monday edition, the start of the week. I be so fast, so many things I be doing. But big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all, man, for what y'all doing and how y'all do. I appreciate the hell out of y'all. Thank y'all for being here on this Monday episode of The Coma. Big ups to the family members. Brother Jerry, who that to you? Much love to Brother Jerry. Gundam is in the building, Brother Gundam. Big ups to you as well. All right, let's see who else we got. Chiming in on this thing as well. Pick it and flick it. Who that to you, fam? Appreciate y'all being here. Cooler McGee in the building. Who that to you, Cooler? Dominique is in the building. What's up, Dominique? Who that to you? Brother Tim is in the building. Tim, much love, fam. Brian Pearson, who that to you, Brother Brian? Much love as well. Mocha, big ups to you, Mocha. Who that to you? Who that to you, Coach Rudy? Who that to you, Gabriel Thomas as well. Pelicans, Nola. Who that to you, and Go Pels. Kai the Great 84. What's up, Brother Kai? Who that to you? Torrey Shepard Sr. Brother Torrey is in the building. Who that to you, fam? Appreciate you. Brother Vine is in the building. Who that to you, Vine? Big ups to you, fam. Appreciate you. Ja Williams in the building. What's up, brother Ja? Who that to you? Brother Donovan Grayson is in the building. What's up, brother Donovan? How you doing, my brother? Appreciate you being in the live stream as well on this one here. Big ups to Smallville. What's up, Smallville? How you doing, my friend? Appreciate you. Who that to you? Troll, what's up, brother Troll? Who that to you, fam? Troll Blewett's in the building. Donald, what's up, brother Donald? The Godfather's in the building. All right, what's up, brother Donald? Who that to you? The Who That Godfather's in the building. All right, big ups to you. What's up, brother Dada? Who that to my dog Dada in the building? Big ups to you, my brother. Appreciate you being in here. That's right, brother Donald. The Godfather is here, baby. The Who That Godfather's in the building. What's up, Brew Man? Who that to you, fam? Who that to you? Good to see you in this live stream. What's up, brother John? Who that to you as well, my friend? Hope everything doing well with you, brother Slim. What's up, Slim South 504? Who that to you, fam? Appreciate you as well. So big ups to the rest of the family members, man. I appreciate y'all chiming on the Monday stream. Please feel free to hit upon the like button as you enter the stream. I'm not going to hold you guys too long on this show. I got several other streams I'm working on. Tomorrow on Patreon Tuesday will be part 2 of the positional breakdown. I did the entire offensive roster. Sunday, I wanted to say for the Patreon and YouTube membership, and then it'll be released to the rest of the family members. I want to say next week or this weekend. But the full offensive breakdown from every offensive player we have, we broke it down on the Hour Plus show yesterday, a special Sunday stream. And part 2 of that will be tomorrow on Patreon Tuesday. We'll finish it up. So big ups to the fam, man. What's up, Kevin? Kevin McKnight, who that to you, fam? Appreciate you being in the live stream as well. Much love to you as well, my friend. Appreciate you. All right. Yep. We're going to do that down unless on the Pelican. Yeah, I got a couple of streams I'm doing tonight. Ring Kings Boxing is going down tonight. Pelican Post-Game Report Special Edition is going down tonight as well. So with that being said, like I said, we do 40 plus shows, anywhere between 40 to 50 shows, including On Q with Big Q and other stuff that we do a month. So we put in a lot of work in this. And if you want to check out a lot of that, you can go to Who That Daily, thewhothatdaily.com. That's www.thewhothatdaily.com, the whothatdaily.com. All of our content is headquartered there. Lock it in on your phone so you can check all that content out. So big ups to the fam. Brother Tragic, who that to you? Appreciate you, Brother Tragic, for chiming in on this episode of The Coma. So like I said, fam, please hit upon the like button. If you aren't a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe and join the Great Saint Think Tank. All of the beautiful black and gold family members out there who are true diehards and love to think about the game in a different way, hit that subscribe button and join the Sports Coma. All right, like I said, fam, in this episode, we're gonna go over, several different things. Oh, well, actually, there's several news stories, and this one's entitled 4 Saints veterans possibly on the roster bubble and training camp. And this one's coming from our good friends at the Saints News Network, Mr. Bob Rose. He had a terrific article that I'll go over with you guys. Also, another article about the cornerback position. And then, of course, Taysom Hill looking to prove his doubters wrong. We'll go over those different articles in the stream. So please feel free to hit upon the like button, help the stream out. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe as we get going. So here we go. Hold on. There we go. All right. Now we're going to start this one off with, I thought we're going to start it off for here. 4 Saints veterans possibly on the roster bubble and training camp as well going into this thing. And of course, we got plenty of roster spots. And this was coming from, like I said, the Saints News Network and our honorary Great Saint Think Tank family members there at Bob Rose is one of our guys, Kyle T. Mosley. 4 Saints veteran possibly on the roster bubble in training camp. Plenty of roster spots are up for grabs when the New Orleans Saints kick off the training camp in 3 weeks. Boy, it's getting close, isn't it, family? 3 weeks is what we're talking about before camp is off and running. I tell you, man, it's getting close and close and close for football and redemption time. I tell you what, it'll be fun. All right, so here we go. And which veterans are in jeopardy of losing their jobs? Like I said, it's Brother Bob Rose. Please feel free to go to Saints News Network and feel free to share his articles. Get them out there. All right, New Orleans Saints, along with the other 31 NFL teams, are less than 3 weeks away from the kicking off of the 2021 training camp. Every year, there are veterans released from each team who had been contributors through their career. Sometimes these teams will even part with a player who was a starter the previous season. The NFL roster spots are fiercely fought for every year. The Saints are certainly no exception to that, even with one of the league's most talented rosters. Let's see. I'm sorry about that, fam. I kind of lost my. I was trying to answer my phone at the same time. It was going off. So anyway, let me start from that part again. All right, NFL rosters are fiercely fought for every year. The New Orleans Saints are certainly no exception to that. Even with one of the league's most talented rosters, jobs throughout the depth chart will be hotly contested for in training camp because of several offseason personnel moves. New Orleans will have as many as 10 new starters in 2021. Coach Payton has never been hesitant to keep a low round draft choice undrafted rookie over a seasoned veteran. Here are 4 Saints veterans who could find themselves on outside looking in on training camp battles this upcoming season. So with that being said, Will Clapp is here at the top of the list. And of course, I'm not really surprised to see Will Clapp there, but, I'm figuring, the Saints see value in Will Clapp. That's why they brought him to the fold. But let's go over this one. Will Clapp, offensive lineman. Clapp was a 7th-round pick for the Saints out of LSU in 2018. He played in 26 games in 3 years with the team, started in 4 contests. Most of his action has been on special teams, but he appeared in a career-high 29% of the team's offensive snaps in 2019. Capable of playing either center or guard, Clapp gives some versatility to the interior of the New Orleans Saints O-line. However, he hasn't been able to secure a consistent role with the team despite opportunities because of injuries at the position. Now, the Saints have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Their starting 5 are secure with both Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz able to play either center or guard spots. Veteran James Hurst is the 6th lineman and has starting experience at both tackle and guard. The 25-year-old Clapp has struggled in pass protection and will have to improve his mobility. He'll have to beat out veteran Derek Kelly, who earned significant time last season, along with versatile second-year lineman Kelvin Throckmorton and offensive tackle Ethan Greenidge. New Orleans also added offensive tackle Landon Young from Kentucky with the 6th-round pick in the draft. I was saying 4th-round pick. I correct myself, 6th-round pick. And he will be a starter in my opinion there. So big ups to them as well. But listen, very interesting pick. Brother Bob Rose has with Clapp, and he's right. His biggest obstacle is Derek Kelly, and Derek Kelly is one of those guys that Coach Payton does like. He was on the active roster for several games last year and the previous year. So Kelly is under the radar type of dude, and though the Saints like Will Clapp, he'll definitely have an uphill battle with offensive linemen. I do like Kelvin Throckmorton as well. I don't know if he makes the active roster. I still stay to a degree Kelvin Throckmorton ends up as a practice squad guy. But anyway, interesting. He puts Will Clapp there as the offensive lineman that's on the bubble going into the camp. So we'll see. It's definitely to a degree, even though the Saints read up with him, it's definitely put up a shut-up time for Will Clapp, no doubt about it. Caden Ellis is next up on the list. And people were asking about Caden Ellis. What do they think about where Caden Ellis' development is? Well, I mean, the Saints did have picks in the draft. Last year it was Zach Bowen. This year it was Werner. So, I mean, with that being said, both high picks, one was a 3rd, one was a 2nd, and Caden Ellis was a 7th-round pick coming to this thing. Can Caden Ellis kind of unseat those guys? Now, remember, it was a time a couple of years ago where Caden Ellis was absolutely playing really wonderful. He was in there operating the Mike position in preseason now, and he was flying around making tackle sideline to sideline. He was calling plays. Then he got injured, and then he took a big step back in here. Now, he does have the intelligence. He has the pedigree, but is whether or not he can overcome a lot of what these linebackers like a Zach Bowen or Pete Werner, could he be a guy that kind of pushes these guys for significant play time. He most certainly didn't look good last year in the action that they put him in when he was letting guys, tight ends namely, be running across the field unguarded. So that'll get your ass benched real quick. But let's look at Caden Ellis. New Orleans selected Ellis with a 7th-round pick in 2019's NFL draft. His rookie season ended after only 3 games because of a knee injury. He appeared in 15 games last year, playing 61% of the team's special team snaps, but only 5 snaps on defense. Son of the former Detroit Lions Pro Bowl defensive lineman Big Luther Ellis, Caden has a great football intellect, and he has good play recognition and sound fundamentals, but is athletically limited in space. The Saints have major questions at linebacker entering in 2021. They still have all-pro linebacker Demario Davis, but lost Quan Alexander, Alex Anzalone, and the slowful Craig Robinson this offseason. New Orleans spent a 2nd-round pick on Ohio State's linebacker Pete Werner this spring and expected a bigger role from 2020 3rd-round choice Zach Bowen. So, yes, Caden Ellis, even though he's playing special teams, I think he has aspirations of starting as a Saints linebacker. But we'll see exactly if we can get to the position where he can be able to push these guys, you know what I'm saying, for playing time. We'll see, man. But these are good calls right here. Now let's go on down here to the rest of it. The Saints also could bring back Alexander, which is word on the street. The Saints are looking at bringing back a guy like Quan Alexander, which I know a lot of the great Saint think tank and the Who Dat Nation, the Black and Gold Nation, will want to see Quan Alexander back because of how he played last year, like a perfect piece, a perfect mirror complement of Demario Davis. I mean, he put him in there. He was exceptional. Now he's rehabbing. They say his rehab will end right before training camp if the Saints want him. And word on the street, the Saints do have an interest in signing him. He'll give him a cheap 1-year prove-it deal to see if he's ready. Now, could this happen? And will it happen? I would love to see it happen because it does give the Saints a veteran linebacker with some experience who we know could play the position. The question is he healthy enough to do it? But if he isn't, you still have young linebackers that can learn the position, you know, in a gradual way as opposed to forcing them into action. So you still get the best of both worlds in my book. But we'll have to see on that. Ellis has good awareness in zone coverage, but will have to show he has the athleticism to track down opposing running backs and tight ends in space. Competition for the final spots at this position will be a battle between Ellis and former undrafted players Chase Hansen, who they like a lot, Shaq Smith, who's going to be a nice special team player, Dowell, not so much, Wayne McManus is the Canadian prospect, Quentin Poling, and Marcus Willoughby, another guy there, pretty much what we would call great value canned goods. But these are depth pieces and possibly could be guys that end up on the practice squad. Now, Ellis has the edge and experience, but must make an impact on special teams and show he can hold up sideline to sideline. Running back position, Dwayne Washington is another candidate that's on the bubble list. Why? Why is he here? Because I keep saying it, and I've said it for several years now, is that the Saints want you to do more than just be a special team ace. Oh, really? What examples do you have of that? Well, I can give you 2 of them. Chris Banjo, who was special on special teams, but was not special in the defense. Couldn't play that position. Saints got rid of him. Same thing with Justin Hardy. Justin Hardy couldn't cover his bed. He probably was the worst cover corner that we had on the team. I mean, he got his lunch ate by the Titan wide receiver. I can't remember the guy's name, but boy, he made him look like he didn't know how to play football at all. Justin Hardy was a terrible liability as a cornerback. He looked pathetic, didn't turn his head around easy, terrible fundamental technique. He was just not a technique at all. If it's not fundamental, he didn't have much of a technique at all, but he was terrible as a defensive back. And then he met with the same fate as Banjo, and I called it. I said, unless he gets better as a defensive back, they're going to put him in the street. And that's exactly what they did with Justin Hardy, but he landed on his feet with the Jets. They gave him a 4-year deal. What the hell were they thinking? We'll see. But anyway, the reality is the Saints would like you to do a little bit more than be a special teams ace. You got to contribute to whatever side of the ball you come from. And Dwayne Washington's main problem, and I call this on the offensive breakdown, is that he's not a good catcher of the ball out the backfield. Now, he's a good north-south runner, And he's a one-cut downhill runner that'll run over you. At one point, he averaged 5 yards a carry for the Saints. But, he's severely underutilized in the Saints system. You could say, well, Coach Payton likes to throw that thing. But last year, the Saints were breaking franchise records in rushing with Alvin Kamara. Latavius Murray got into some of the action, even Ty Montgomery. But Ty Montgomery comes in, kind of steals some of his reps, and even Taysom to a degree, because the Saints use Taysom as a makeshift running back as well. So you could throw Deontay Harris in that mix when they like to use little plays with the tosses and the sweeps and stuff like that, the screens. So, I mean, with Dwayne Washington, we'll see exactly how it shakes. But Washington came to the Saints as a free agent in 2018 after 2 seasons with the Lions. He's been used sparingly on offense, playing just 75 snaps in 3 seasons and rushing for 229 yards. Washington's value to the Saints has been on special teams, where he's been one of the team's top contributors on an outstanding unit. He also needs to shine as a runner in preseason to hold his job. And I agree with Bob, and that's what I've been saying for a while, is that you got to do more than just play special teams well to be an ace. You've got to be able to do serviceable work from where you come from, whether it's the offensive side of the ball or defensive side. He's 6'1", 223 pounds, has decent power between the tackles and runs hard. He doesn't have great elusiveness to avoid tackles. No, he's just a downhill runner. He's a north-south downhill runner, will make contact with you, stiff arms, power down. That's just what he does. And I would consider guys like Dwayne Washington, I would call them second half of the game backs. Because you have a defense that play hard, an opposing defense that played against your team hard in the first 2 quarters of the game, and then you have battering ram running backs you hitting them with in the 3rd and 4th rounds to further wear down the defense. Most defense don't want to see guys with Dwayne Washington's run style coming at them in late in games. They don't want to deal with it. But I do like that part of his game. But there are other guys that also do the same thing he do, and they cover it in here. The Saints seem to set with their top 3 backs in Pro Bowl Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, and Ty Montgomery. Washington will battle for a spot against the 2 promising young undrafted backs. Second-year running back Tony Jones Jr. Impressed coaches last season and is a dark horse favorite to unseat Washington. Stevie Scott III, a rookie from Indiana, is a big back with an impressive combination of power and elusiveness. He certainly is a very interesting back. Stevie Scott III can run. He's a really good running back. I don't know how he didn't get drafted, but he can catch the ball. He's big and elusive and use the stiff arm, can run over you all around you. And then, of course, he has great vision and patience to wait for the hole to develop before he hits it. And it usually takes 1 or 2 guys, more than 1 guy, to bring him down. So, I mean, a lot of people really big on Stevie Scott III and Tony Jones Jr. Could Dwayne Washington's time with the Saints be coming to an end? We'll see. Washington's special team abilities give him an edge for a roster spot. However, either Jones or Scott could grab a job if they show they can be an offensive contributor if called upon with a standout performance on special teams. Absolutely. Then below him is Patrick Robinson. Now, this should have been the number 1 right here. What's up, Black and Gold Nation? Who that to you, fam? Good to see you in the chat. Shadrack, brother Shadrack's in the building. What's up, Ramsey? Who that to you as well, fam? Appreciate y'all stopping by. Much love to the fam. All right, Patrick Robinson's up next, and a lot of family members saying, hell yeah. Robinson, a first-round pick by the Saints way back in 2020 in the NFL draft, played 5 seasons for New Orleans before departing as a free agent in 2014 as a reason. He just stunk, man. He returned to the Saints in 2018, 4 seasons later, had 2 interceptions and a broke-up pass in 2020. But this man missed so many games since coming back here. Robinson, who turns 34 in September, is the oldest player on the team. He has experience as both an outside corner and a slot. Robinson played 12 games last season, starting 4, appeared in 24% of the defensive snaps. Robinson allowed a 64% completion percentage when targeted in 2020 and has given up over 60% over the last 3 seasons. Even with his experience, he's a coverage liability when in a lineup. Totally agree. Saints released veteran cornerback Jack Rabbit Jenkins this offseason in a salary cap move, leaving major concerns at the position. They used a 3rd-round pick on promising rookie Paulson Adebo from Stanford. They also used third-year defensive back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in more of a coverage role this season. Lattimore could be facing a league suspension for an offseason arrest. Next to Lattimore, Gardner Johnson, and Robinson, there is no other significant experience at the position. Unless the Saints bring in another veteran corner to compete for a spot, Robinson's experience gives him a big edge to hold on to his job. However, his uneven play over the last 2 years makes his spot vulnerable. Veteran cornerback Ken Crawley before Milwaukee also brings experience to the position and started for the Saints from 2016 to 2018. Now moving on to the next player on the docket, a second-year undrafted free agent, Keith Washington is a terrific athlete capable of having wideouts on one-on-one and excelling in both and off-ball coverage. Grant Haley fielded admirably as an injury replacement last year. Undrafted rookies Bryce Thompson or Deuce Wallace could also steal a spot with a standout camp. So the thing is, the Saints are really big on some of these young guys, and I do like guys like Keith Washington Jr. I think he has the size and intelligence to play that position. Pale Grant's a little undersized, but he does have experience as well. They mentioned Bryce Thompson, who's undersized but very scrappy. And, of course, Deuce Wallace, who has the speeds, another undersized guy. So, no doubt about it, in my opinion, even Mickey said that, Mickey said that the Saints were going to look at bringing in some veteran help at the cornerback position. Now, of course, we got less than 3 weeks before camp, and we'll start seeing the Saints bring in a few people. So to go over the article by Bob Rose entitled 4 Saints Veterans Possibly on the Roster Bubble in Training Camp, he puts Will Clapp on the list first, offensive lineman Will Clapp. Caden Ellis, the linebacker, special teams guy. And then the next one is Dwayne Washington, another special teams running back. And, of course, Patrick Robinson, who a lot of people feel should have been gone. P.J. Williams should have been gone. Ken Crawley shouldn't have been gone. We could have went and found other people for the position. So those are the guys you're looking at that is on the bubble this year. So I posed the question to the Great Saint Think Tank. What do you guys think about Brother Bob Rose's article with these players? Do you agree? What's up, Brother DeWright? Who that to you, fam? Good to see Brother DeWright in the building. Please feel free, family, do me a service and hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't a subscriber. Who that King? What's up, fam? Good to see the Who that King in the building. Much love to you, Farouk Obasi. What's up, Farouk? How you doing, brother? Big ups to you as well. Appreciate you being in the live stream, fam. If you didn't hear your name, give me a who that, and I give you a who that back, baby. All right, so do you guys like what Brother Bob was saying about these guys? Or, what's up, Brother JT? Who that to you, Brother JT? Thank you for being here, my friend. And peace and love to you too, my friend. Who that to you? Now, you guys, let me pose this question to the Great Saint Think Tank and the Who That Nation. What do you guys think about Brother Bob's guys? Do you agree with Will Clapp? Do you agree about Patrick Robinson and Caden Ellis? What do you guys think about that? Do you want to add 1 or 2 others to the list? What do you think? Y'all let me know if you agree with Brother Bob's Rose article. Also, if you think he missed 1 or 2 of them, put 3 more guys in there you guys think should be on this bubble as well. All right, so let's move on to the next one, family. And speaking about the cornerback position, it's the perfect segue to come into this article right here from the Saints Wire. What's up, Jesus will save us? Who that to you, fam? Appreciate you being here. And this one's from the Saints Wire entitled The Athletics Picks Ongoing Uncertainty at Cornerback as Saints' Worst Off-Season Decision. And let's get into this by Sigler. Which roster move was the worst decision of the New Orleans Saints offseason? Between their releases, signings, draft picks, and many other contract restructures, tying underperforming players like Andrews Pete closer to the future, there are plenty to choose for. And Pete is always a popular guy. What's up, Lori, baby? Who that to you? And JT said, put that old handshake coordinator on there. And Mr. King and Mr. Crawley before you walk it. But remember, if we put them on there, we ain't going to have the Dollar Tree Quartet back. We're going to lose the Dollar Tree Quartet, family. And I know you all want to hear from the Dollar Tree Quartet in the upcoming year. It ain't a quartet no more. It's more of the Dollar Tree trio. They upholding the Dollar Tree trio. What's up, King Logic? How you doing, fam? Says I never liked Patrick Robinson. He has been trash. Oh yeah, no doubt about it, bro. I mean, he wasn't a good pick for the Saints. The Saints brought him back thinking that he can help him in the nickel position, but he is so often injured, missing time, various hamstring issues, and of course, you know, it gets old at a time. You know, it gets old to keep hearing that. All right, the Athletics Catherine Terrell chose the New Orleans Saints' worst offseason move in a survey of all 32 teams, though she narrowly gave them a mulligan for somewhat an extenuating circumstances, she wrote. Her quote was, let's see if we can get it here. You could say some things were partially out of the Saints' control after their cap situation got to the point that starting Janoris Jenkins had to be released. The Saints loved J.C. Horn, but weren't going to mortgage their entire future to get him in a draft. And while they could have gotten one of the second-tier corners at the end of the first round, they went with Peyton Turner. Trading back up into the second to get someone like Tyson Campbell didn't work, so the position wasn't addressed until Paulson Adebo in the third round. It feels like the Saints have a gaping hole at cornerback with a few options available and no cap space until someone is extended. And this was prior to all this happened. And, you know, we eventually did see the Saints make some moves with getting Paulson Adebo, and they added a few young guys. But it really appeased the black and gold family members for a few days when the team ended up getting Trill Williams. And that really kind of quieted things down because everybody was so big on Trill Williams. But of course, they put him in the street too because he failed the physical. Let's finish up the arc because they're a very different scenario in a parallel, divergent timeline or a variant from with the Loki fans, okay? Where the salary cap didn't take an unprecedented tumble and the Saints were able to retain the Jackrabbit, giving Adebo a year to prepare to replace him or Marshawn Lattimore in 2022. But that's not where we are, and it's an inviable position for New Orleans. Now, the thing is interesting, fam, about this is that and I often question because there were two surprises, I guess I can say, that happened with the Saints this past year in terms of free agency and guys that were let go. And actually, three things that kind of surprised me. The first one was, of course, the Jackrabbit, who I thought the Saints really wanted to keep the Jackrabbit. His deal that he signed with the Tennessee Titans wasn't a really expensive deal. It was a 2-year deal with the second year as an option, which is something the Saints could have did. The second thing was the Josh Hill move, where the Saints released Josh Hill. I thought Josh Hill would have stuck around. They got him out of here. And, of course, the Marcus Williams tagging. That surprised me as well. But then again, it shouldn't have surprised me, knowing how they liked him. But to tag him at 10.6 is really interesting. But I thought that, we could make something work with the Jackrabbit. But ultimately we didn't. And he was put in the street. Now, what's interesting is the fact that they're saying maybe things work out with Adebo competing to start opposite of Lattimore, though, as Terrell pointed out, you might imagine the Saints still want another veteran in the mix. Now, Patrick Robinson and P.J. Williams, please no. Big names like Richard Sherman and Steven Nelson are still available, as they're free agents like Drake Kirkpatrick, who visited with the Saints in June. Now, if New Orleans can negotiate a contract extension with the franchise tag safety Marcus Williams ahead of the NFL trade deadline later this week, which is 3 days away. Just to let the family members know, 3 important dates to black and gold or New Orleans sports people. Number 1 is the tag deadline on Marcus Williams' tag is due on July the 15th, which is 3 days away. So we'll see we should see some movement on the Saints extending the contract for Marcus Williams. Will probably make him, one of the top 3 or top 5 paid safeties in the NFL. And then, of course, the second one is the 27th, which is when the Saints open up the camp. And 29th is the NBA draft for your New Orleans Pelicans. So 3 really interesting dates here for the month of July. So they should be able to sign their pick of the bunch. They already have more than $11.6 million in salary cap after inking right tackle Ryan Ramczyk to a long-term deal. And they should get more than that if done in a certain way. Mika Loomis could free up even more money with the extension of Marcus Williams' tag a contract before the July the 15th tag. So if that occurs, then there's only one other player that you will want to get to see, and that is Laddie Daddy. So we'll see how that goes. What's up, Dev84 John? Who that to your fan? Appreciate you. Says Q, can you please tell them people that Brady looked just like Jameis until Brady started running his stuff? This is what, and this is true. I talked about this. When was that? On TSC. Well, we talked about this. I want to say on the special stream over the weekend that we did for the Patreon family members and YouTube members, doing an entire breakdown of the Saints offense. I mean, every member of the Saints offensive unit, first string, second stringers, third stringers, everybody, and the positional breakdown of the entire offense. Tuesday we'll be doing the defensive breakdown, the special teams. But that show, we went over everybody. And I talked about Jameis Winston and how the Bruce Arians offense is flawed. And the fact that even they admitted that he was on pace to throw over 20 interceptions at one point during the season. And Tom Brady was incredibly frustrated with Bruce Arians. That's why they was headbutting about the offense. But the only difference was Tom Brady has the leverage and the power in that organization to beat Bruce Arians in the decision making of the playbook. So when that happened, then you start seeing the offense change a bit because Tom Brady started putting his stamp on it and started changing Arians' offense. But he also he had GM ability, and as well, remember, he negotiated that in the deal. Now, Jameis didn't have that kind of power, and very few quarterbacks do have the ability to pose as a general manager. But that was one of the prerequisites for him to be your quarterback, is that he had to have decisions over players. So he started asking for him to get certain players. So that's how he ended up with Leonard Fournette, who was released by the Jaguars. You seen Antonio Brown, who ended up there, and several other players that the team added over the season to help uplift its offense to respectability. But yes, it was definitely Bruce Arians' system. That's why Tom Brady and him was kind of butting heads during the season. He wanted to change that offense around because Arians, his system gears toward the quarterback throwing the ball like that. And like I said, Jameis didn't have the power to leverage to force Bruce Arians to change his system. But you'll never see a quarterback ever in Sean Payton's offense throw 30 interceptions in a season. Now, you've seen Drew Brees, I think one season had 20 interceptions. I want to say that I'm going to get the numbers together and I'll come back to you. But I think that was a part of it too. No problem. But that's absolutely facts, man, about Tom Brady. That's what was going on with Bruce Arians. That he didn't want to run that offense like that because it was flawed. And people blaming Jameis for it, even though Jameis didn't have no running attack. The offensive line was bad, and he was basically out there trying to do things. And then if you go back and watch the tape, them guys was dropping balls off their hands. It ended up in interceptions. They was dropping passes. They were just absolutely a garbage-ass team. They really was. There was a garbage-ass organization, and it took him coming in there, changing all that around just for them to have some success. Them people missed the playoffs 7 years straight. And then in 1 year, you mean to tell me Tom Brady comes in and take them to the Super Bowl, and them people was bad for 7 years? They missed the playoffs for 7 years. And Tom Brady gets out and turns around into a playoff team. Now, he had a lot of help. I won't get into all that other shit. But, I mean, the bottom line is you're absolutely right on that. You're absolutely right. But anyway, let's keep it moving on this one. Now, the cornerback position is, yeah, that's right. Thank you, Slim. Slim says Drew had 22 interceptions. And, yeah, what year was that? Because I'm looking at it, too, myself right here. And a year that he threw for 20, and that's the most interceptions he threw. Let me see because I'm looking at it on my phone right now. Because the most he had prior to that, well, I mean, not prior, but during his career, he had 19 interceptions in 2012. And then the most he's ever had as a quarterback for the Black and Gold was 22 interceptions in 2010. He threw for 33 touchdowns and 22 interceptions in 2010. So Jameis ate more than that, but to say that Jameis will have a performance where he throws for 20, I don't even see that happening. And remember, a lot of times we kind of, to a degree, we over relied on Drew when we shouldn't have. We should have gave Drew more of the running attack, the balance, the playbook a little bit more. But we got pass happy. We started overthrowing things. Remember last year when the Green Bay game, the Saints ran 15 straight passing plays. Come on, man. What sense that make? Where is that? That didn't make any damn sense. And you weren't going to beat a team with smart players like on that side of the ball for Green Bay. And they started seeing that. And when the Saints ran Taysom Hill in there, they knew it was a running play. They lined up to the line of scrimmage, and then it turned out bad. You don't run into a 8-man front. I mean, that's I ain't gonna get into it, but I don't see Jameis having that kind of problem in the black and gold building simply because I think Coach Payton gives him access to the running attack more now than ever before, because we don't know we know Coach Payton is not totally comfortable with either one of these quarterbacks yet, but he is comfortable with the running attack. So we'll see him delve into that. And the Saints do have money now at 11.6. That's over the cap. That's Sport Track right now. But who did they get? Let me then quiz the great Saint Think Tank. What's up, True Louise Animal? Big ups to you, fam. Appreciate you. Let me see. There was another question I can go over right quick. Ramsey says, hey, Q, what about Swearinger? You know, I mean, I wouldn't be mad to bring Swearinger back. The Saints definitely could use they definitely most certainly could use veteran safety help back there, man. Besides PJ Williams, no doubt about it. I would definitely like him to come back. Black and Gold Nation says we need Richard Sherman and Quan Alexander. Kill Harry would be a nice addition too. All right. Appreciate that, fam. And let's get it. So let me quiz the great Saint Think Tank and Who Dat Nation with this question. What do you guys think? Which cornerback do you think make the most sense? Is it Dre Kirkpatrick? Is it Richard Sherman or Steven Nelson? You guys put in the chat which ones you think. If you had one of these guys to get, which one would it be in your opinion? Would it be Richard Sherman, Steven Nelson, or Dre Kirkpatrick? Y'all put it in the chat and let me know how you feel. All right, and of course we're going to move to our final article, which is Taysom Hill looking to prove his doubters wrong. This is for my Taysom Hill people. It's coming from one of our favorite resources in Canal Street Chronicles, Mr. Gregory Layfield. Taysom Hill is a polarizing player who has a real shot at being an NFL starting quarterback, which he was for 4 games last year. He was that, and he was 3-1, which goes to show, like I said, about the great goes to show how really good the Saints offense is. When you take a guy that's not been a quarterback at the NFL level, put him behind the Saints offense, and he goes 3-1, almost 4-0. That is a massive thumbs up and a major compliment for the Saints offensive system. So I think it's a positive. So let's take a look at the article. The term that many fans around the NFL learned recently is voidable years. Generally, when a player signs a $140 million contract, the league celebrates. That was before the salary cap and Taysom Hill truthers combined forces to deride the New Orleans Saints. The term voidable years, along with the contract numbers, brought out the worst of the anti-Saints bullhorns. These forces seem to have been working against Taysom Hill, his pursuit of an NFL starting job, and an actual long-term contract. This is the next article examining New Orleans Saints players purchasing a contract extension, and the first to look at one of the quarterbacks. So here we go. Taysom Hill fighting for a real extension. This will be the first quarterback battle in Sean Payton's coaching career. The person Payton chooses will likely shape the Saints franchise for the foreseeable future and the post-Drew Brees era. In a lot of minds, Taysom has no chance at winning a quarterback job for the New Orleans Saints in 2021 because Jameis Winston has been a starting quarterback in the NFL. Hill is dismissed as being simply a gadget player. The dismissiveness and the vitriol towards Hill might drive Hill towards the starting job. Please tell. Do tell. One of the reasons Taysom Hill gets dismissed is his play style. There have been very few quarterbacks who have been this kind of a running threat that has succeeded in the NFL. This contrast is even more pronounced when replacing the most accurate quarterback in NFL history, Brees. The way Hill plays the quarterback position is much more akin to someone like Cam Newton or Josh Allen than Breeze. Newton and Allen seem to get the same kind of dislike that Hill does, but Newton and Allen have been enduring it longer. Hill's challenging for this year's full-time starting job will not help his dismissive attitude either. Cam Newton is an NFL veteran who has been a perennial starter, while Josh Allen is going into his 4th year. Josh Allen's play style has been ridiculed, but he has improved as a passer every year he's been in the NFL. But these players are still proving their doubters wrong. Now, Taysom needs a Josh Hill-esque ascension, according to the writer. This leads to the comparison between Allen and Hill. Hill has only Hill has only started 4 regular season games in the NFL. In Allen's first year starting for the Bills, he finished with 631 rushing while only completing almost 53% of his passes. Now, Allen started 11 games for the Bills that year. The next 2 years, though, these numbers started to move in a better direction. Allen's rushing dipped in 2019 and 20, but his passing numbers climbed. Allen's completion percentage went to nearly 59% in 2019 and leaped to 69% in 2020, leading the Bills to a 13-win season. Now, Allen started every game for the Bills in both 2019 and 2020. Can the Saints organization be this patient with Hill? Good question. The major difference between Allen and Hill is their age. Allen began to elevate his numbers at the age of 23. Hill will be 31 by the time the NFL season starts. This, along with the looming presence of Jameis Winston, might be too much for the Saints organization accustomed to winning. The Saints have won 11 or more games in each of the past 4 years. Can Coach Payton, can he be patient with Hill long enough for him to elevate his game? There is room for hope. In his first few starts, Hill's numbers as a quarterback are better than Allen's. Hill finished the 2020 season with a 72% completion percentage, a 98.8 quarterback rating, and 457 yards rushing. The passing numbers are far better than Allen in his first or second year, and that's not bad. While Breeze was hurt in 2020, it was Hill who got denied at quarterback, not Winston. Payton's favorability towards Hill might have signaled who he believes is the future of the Saints at the quarterback position. Now, Taysom Hill does not deserve the hostility, according to the writer. There has not been a bad thing said about Taysom Hill from anyone within the Saints organization. It seems as he is well liked and a good teammate. Hill has proven his worth and earned respect from players by being a hard-nosed, blue-collar type player. Outside of the organization is where most of the vitriol comes from. Some of it is due to the Saints' manipulation of the salary cap each year. Hill's giant contract and valuable years represent what some around the NFL feel as being questionable cap work. The other hostility comes strictly from Hill's play style. This kind of malice can be, I think you're kind of stretching it with the words, man. It's no malice toward Taysom. Can be normal against the NFL, especially for players who do not play quarterback the traditional way. Taysom Hill will have to prove the doubters of his play style wrong to win a starting job for the Saints in 2021. Whichever quarterback emerges in the upcoming training camp is surely to be welcomed with a long-term contract from the New Orleans Saints. We'll see about that. But do you guys feel, now that was a good point about his numbers compared to Josh Hill, but also the age is different. Now, we don't know exactly what Taysom Hill, we know he's training, but we haven't seen any videos of what he's doing or who he's doing it with. But we do know he's training off season, just like Jameis Winston is. It's just Jameis is showing you some of the drills that he's doing. He's not showing you everything, but he is showing you a few things that he's working on just to show you that he's working. Well, Taysom's taking more of a quiet approach to the situation. But listen, the bottom line, and I've said this before. What's up, who that to you, USMC? What's up, fam? Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Appreciate you. What's up, Big Jedediah? How you doing, brother? Appreciate you. Who that to you? Dr. Keys in the building. What's up, Dr. Key? How you doing, my friend? All right, so this is the thing that I see with Taysom Hill. I don't see Taysom Hill as a loser in this situation. If Taysom loses the starting job, meaning that he's not the first guy that's coming out on the field with the Saints, we do see Taysom Hill is going to play regardless or not. And I don't think he'll ever be relegated or delegated to a position where he doesn't see the field. He's just standing there with his helmet. Nah, Coach Payton has a percentage of the offense that belongs to Taysom Hill. It's not going to be a big portion, like say if it's the starter position, I think if Taysom wins the job outright, then you'll see a lot of Taysom system. But I think it works better if Jameis, Coach Payton knows this. He brought Jameis Winston on the team. He knows Jameis has the experience and all this other kind of stuff. And the only thing that kind of held Jameis back for years was Jameis doing all of the off-field stuff that was dysfunctional and all this other kind of stuff, the dysfunction of what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers represented. And he comes to a situation that is more positive, a lot more positive. He can really just focus on being a good quarterback, not being a savior, but just being a manager at first and making the right decisions. That'll bode well for Jameis because everything, he's in the prime and he's focused and he's looking at stuff. Now, Taysom Hill still is going to play a lot of QB for the Saints. He's still going to operate the Wildcat. He's still going to do the Taysom Hill pass and running plays because that's a part of Coach Payton's offense moving into the future as long as Taysom Hill is on his team. So my opinion is Taysom Hill never loses. Whether he doesn't beat out Jameis or not, he's still going to play the quarterback position. He's still going to be a very important part of the team in the quarterback room. That's just how it is. Coach Payton is not going to just sit Taysom Hill down and then run Jameis. So if I had to say percentage-wise, and I talked about this on the show over the weekend, the special stream on Patreon and for our YouTube members, is the fact that I've talked about the fact that if you had to slice it up like a pie, then I would say that Jameis would get 65 to 70% of that pie, and Taysom as a quarterback would get the rest of it. And I will say that because I think Coach Payton's idea is to operate a two-quarterback system, not a two-headed monster, because it's the two-headed comparison is a bit misleading because it gives you the appearance that it's a 50-50 situation. It's not. Taysom will still do what Taysom do. The only real issue I have with this, that is, can Coach Payton, or does Coach Payton have the discipline to operate Taysom Hill's pass and running plays with balance? Can he make it balanced? Can he make it believable? Because if you're a defense and you see Taysom Hill coming on the field, they're going to crowd up the line of scrimmage because they are scared of him running the ball versus him throwing the ball. Well, why is that? It's because we were overusing him as a running back, and we need to work on him being a better thrower of the ball. So that is the main thing that Taysom Hill, the quarterback, needs to be working on wherever he is right now, is that he needs to be working on his progressions. He needs to be working on his intermediate and deep ball accuracy. And he needs to be working on his pocket presence and also the clock in his head, developing the QB clock. I talk about it all the time. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. He's got to develop that clock and understand by when you get to a certain time frame and looking around, if something's not there, look for your check down. If nothing there, then you can take off. Because if you don't do it the way where you finding your receivers upfield, they're going to get pissed off. You can't take off. You can't take off and run all the time. They want to make catches. That's a part of them getting paid. They reach incentives based on how many catches they get. So you're going to piss off everybody if you don't handle it the right way and delegate or relegate where the ball is going. So that's the big questions I've always had with Taysom Hill, is his pocket awareness, his pocket patience, the clock in his head, and then the short, not so much the short stuff, but the intermediate and deep ball accuracy. Going through those progressions. Can he fix that or get it to a place where he can make it a competition with Jameis Winston to make you double think, damn, Taysom's here. He has the attributes. He has the athleticism. He has the mentality. But the issue has always been how he sees the game, going through the progressions and delivering the ball accurately. That's a major part of Taysom Hill's game. And that seems like it's a small part of it, but that's a big freaking thing for him to learn how to do, to have success in the game, to be able to accurately deliver the ball, intermediate and deep ball, filling the pocket, clocking his head, stuff like that. QB stuff that you get not in the offseason, but you have to develop and get by playing live time reps and real time action. That's how you develop that stuff. But, does he have enough of it to make it a competition with Jameis Winston, who's had over 5 years of it and a great degree of it in college and 5 years of it as a professional quarterback, a starting level quarterback, So, like I said, that's why a lot of people looking at it. But anyway, 4 Saints veterans possibly on the roster bubble in training camp. We covered that early. The recap, And then, of course, we talked about the second article right here, the Athletic picks ongoing uncertainty at cornerback as Saints' worst offseason decision. And, of course, we talked about Taysom Hill looking to prove his doubters wrong. How about that? All right. Big ups to the family members, man. And thank y'all for being in the show, man. Appreciate y'all. Much love to the fam. What's up, Cameron? Who that to your fam? Appreciate you. As well, thank you guys for being here in the stream. What's up, brother Matt? He says, BQ, they said, follow the money, Hill Inc. a 4-year deal. I hear you on that. And I know follow the money, but, we just covered a lot of that in that article about Phantom and the writer did a spectacular job. And by the way, big ups to all of our writers we covered today. Pretty good. Those are pretty good articles today. And he mentioned in there about Phantom money and that the contract that Jameis has is not what you think it is. It's really a 1-year contract, and the Saints just create these phantom or illusionary contracts that is or Hollywood illusion level. But I mean, it's in the. What's up, Marco? Who that to your fam? Appreciate you. What's up, Jose? Big ups to your fam. Good to see you in the chat as well. Big ups to you. And that's a big part of this whole deal, man. When you look at the black and gold, but remember, less than 3 weeks, man, before the Saints camp starts. 3 weeks, 3 days from now is the tag deadline for Marcus Williams. Let me pose a question to the great Saint think tank and the entire Who Dat Nation. That's you. Do you guys? What's up, Hemisphere? Big ups to you, fam. Good to see you in the chat. Do you guys? And I want y'all to put it in the chat. Do you guys think that the Saints get the deal done with Marcus Williams before the July the 15th deadline for the tag? Or do you think the Saints allow him to play on the $10.6 million tag for 1 year? Or do they get the deal done? What do you guys think? I'm going to leave that on you. That's the next big thing to drop. And in 3 days, July the 15th, that is supposed to happen. The deadline is the tag deadline. Can the Saints get it done? We'll see. And of course, behind that, you have the Marshawn Lattimore situation because we already extended our ram check. What about Laddie Daddy? What could, once we get Marcus Williams out the way, what about Laddie Daddy? Does he get his deal? Hemisphere just throwing this out there. Name the last QB who left the Buccaneers to later on replace Joe Montana, then later on won a Super Bowl with the 49ers. That's Steve Young, my friend. That is Steve Young. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Donald, the Godfather, says, I'm Team Jameis. It's his job to lose. And I think a lot of people agree with you on, and there's no disrespect to people that like Taysom Hill. But even our Taysom people understand why a lot of people, including some of the supposed experts, are saying that Jameis is the guy that's sitting on top of the team right now and not Taysom. Despite the fact that Taysom started 4 games for the Saints last year, not Jameis when Drew was hurt. You look at the experience, you look at what he's doing, and a lot of people say, well, hey, Q, Coach Payton brought that man. Now, like I said, if Coach Payton really didn't want to bring serious competition in for Taysom, he would have signed an older quarterback to merely placehold, or a guy to come in and just, fortify the depth chart just in case of injury. He wouldn't have brought a quarterback in here that will compete with Taysom Hill. Like Jameis wasn't. Jameis has the experience. He was in a bad system with the Buccaneers for years, but he's a winner. He gets crazy. He grew up a Saints person. Went to school to Florida, won a championship there, had a lot of success, gets picked first overall. Ultimately, it didn't work in Tampa Bay when they brought Tom Brady, who also wanted to come to New Orleans. It's crazy how it all cycles back to us, isn't it? It's crazy how it all cycles back to us in the black and gold building. You got Tom Brady right now upset and raw as a dog about the Saints not bringing him in here to be the quarterback and saying, nope, we're going to choose Drew over you. He really upset about that. And despite the fact that he won a Super Bowl with Tampa, he's still upset about that. He's still upset about that. And Tom Brady is petty, man. He really is. He's a petty dude. Like for years and years, he use the fact that you had all those quarterbacks that were picked ahead of him to drive him. Now, that's part of it. But he, like, even when you got 4 or 5, you still pushing that. And really, I think what he wanted to do was he wanted to kind of show up Drew. What he wanted to do was come to New Orleans and win a Super Bowl with the black and gold just to show you that I'm better than Drew Brees. Because there's real no conceivable reason why Tom Brady should still be being a quarterback. He done won as many Super Bowls as any quarterback. That's supposed to just walk your ass into the sunrise. But he's still trying to do it. Why? Because he's still trying to capture the records that Drew Brees holds. He's trying to get everything. So, I mean, and then he raw as a dog right now about the Saints picking Drew over him. And I told people last year, I said, family, listen, he waiting. We said this in Elite, and I kept saying it throughout the season, that Tom Brady wanted to come to the Saints. And I kept saying we the belle of the ball. Remember that? We the attracted destination. And that's just not Tom Brady. All of them think like that. When Russell Wilson and all these other guys get from under their contract, the Aaron Rodgers and all them, guess where they coming at? Guess where they coming to? And the Saints know it. That's why a lot of these guys on 1-year deals and all that kind of stuff. Tom Brady ain't the only one that think like that. They got a bunch of really good quarterbacks out there that think the same way about the New Orleans Saints. I'm telling you what it is. So, yeah, it's interesting because it always cycled back to the Saints. So Tom Brady wanted to come here. The Saints told him no, and they signed Drew. And then, of course, they released Jameis Winston, who listens to Teddy Bridgewater, who was here and then comes to New Orleans and takes a deal at $1 million when he could have been making 3 or 4 times the money because they had 2 other offers out there for Jameis Winston. He chose the black and gold over anybody else. So it's all funny how I always come back to the black and gold. Always do. Tyrone, who that T, said Hill may not play a lot of QB if Jameis plays well. Thank you, Tyrone. Who that T, your fan, appreciate you. All right, Rudy says Q, all we know, he says BQ, we all know why Taysom started those 4 games. It was to keep a promise, but to keep the true threat of Winston hiding in the shadows. I can't buck against that, Coach Rudy. I can't buck against that because people kept asking me all season long, Q, you think Coach Payton stashing Jameis Winston on the team? And I said, well, I don't know. But we do know that Taysom Hill, and I was like, no, I don't think so. But I do think that Coach Payton really loves Taysom. And I was saying that before the reporter told you. Coach Payton loves Taysom Hill more than her husband loved her. Do y'all remember that? Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. Remember that. And I've been telling, I said, listen, Sean Payton loves this kid. Loves him. And of course, you're right, Rudy, that he did. He said, listen, he had to see what Taysom had. He had to. Because, I mean, it wouldn't be fast. Okay, we know if you put Jameis in there, you never know. He might not ever seen the position again. But you put Taysom Hill in there just to see what Taysom could do. And he's seen what Taysom can do during the season. And the feeling is coming into the season is Jameis Winston. Now, are we a little bit turned down by that? Was he a little bit turned down by the performance that he's seen from Taysom? Because that Philadelphia game was not Taysom's style of play. Taysom was trying to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball out of the pocket in that game. And if y'all remember, the last play the Saints had in the Philadelphia game, he was trying to stand in the pocket and throw the ball and ended up getting hit. And then the game was over with. Philly gets the ball back and then the game over with. Now, if that was really Jameis would have took off in that Philly game and picked up the 3 or 4 yards, whatever it was, and keep the clock running and keep the chains moving for the Saints. But I think to a degree, I think Coach Payton was in his ear. Listen, let's see if he can win games from the pocket. And Taysom simply does not have the pocket awareness to operate that way. That's what I'm saying. It's a difficult position to play because it takes certain things that you can't develop unless you have real live time game reps. And how is he supposed to get that? You know? And that the reporter's right. Are we going to be patient with a Taysom Hill? Well, we was patient with him last year. You know? And some people are like, oh, man, you see the – and then you seen certain plays when Taysom had a guy open in front of him, the tight end, and would just not throw the ball. He is second guessing and just keep the ball in his hands and run it. You remember that? Against the Denver Broncos, it didn't have to be that bad of a game, man. It really didn't. And you can see that he had confidence issues, and that you can only get better at a lot of the stuff that he needs to get better at if he gets the live time reps. And will he get that? That's the question. against a guy that's had over 5 years worth of them, you at a severe disadvantage, especially when most of the time that he was on the Saints playbook, he's been on the team and familiar with the Saints playbook more than Jameis, but he was as a wide receiver, tight end, running back. Now, if he is exceptionally mentally, like I think he is, he can perhaps take that play that he played at the tight end, at the running back, at the wide receiver, as a fullback, as a special teams guy, and he can take all those different perspectives or vision or vantage points and add them into the mindset of him as a quarterback. That could be an exceptional gift to be able to help him see the game differently and might get him a little bit close in certain regards when we're talking about the competition with the quarterback position. Can he do that, though? Can he? Because he played wide receiver pretty damn well, despite the fact that he was quarterback. He played well enough to keep wide receivers who played wide receivers their whole career on the damn bench. Traquan Smith, namely, one of them. Tight ends. Taysom Hill was going out there and he was playing the tight end, playing the wide receiver, playing the running back, and was excelling at it. And when you put him on special teams, he was blocking punts and all that. You got them other people out there all the time. They can't even get close to blocking no punt. And you get Taysom Hill out there and Taysom Hill blocking goddamn punts. Now you tell me that he can't, he has exceptional ability, but the quarterback position's different. Can he take all of those vantage points and then put them into the mindset of the quarterback position and give him an edge there mentally and from that perspective? You feel what I'm saying? If he can do that, this could be something intriguing. If he can do that. Now we know he's very intelligent. All right. What's up, Benny? Who that to your fan pre? What's up, Nola Boss? He says Peyton doesn't need a quarterback. He can gamble too much with Jameis. It's perfect. And see, the thing is, we all know this as the Who Dat Nation. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm about to get out of here because I'm gonna cross over to the Pelican post-game report. We also have a Ring King boxing we're gonna be doing after the Pelican post-game report. We got 3 streams that we're doing tonight, including Tacoma. But just to let the family members know, I think that if you look at the whole Taysom Hill situation, I don't see him as a loser in the Saints offense strictly because if he doesn't win the starting job, he's still going to play quarterback for the Saints. It won't be as a starter, but he'll still be getting a lot of reps as a quarterback to run his plays because Coach Payton, that is a part of Coach Payton's offensive mindset. He wants Taysom Hill out there. Why? Because Taysom Hill is a game changer. The Saints could be, just look at it like this. Jameis, remember that game, that pathetic ass simulation that we watched? What was it, last Sunday? Did anybody see that simulation? Man, that was awful, man. I mean, it was total trash. I was like, man, even a rotten ass computer riding against the Saints. I was like, man, this was probably one of the worst virtual performances Jameis Winston's going to ever do. He had 5 interceptions. He had 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions, and a fumble at the 1-yard line that was returned for a touchdown by Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh also had an interception off of Jameis. It was one of the worst performances I ever seen. But the defense for the Saints had 2 pick sixes and kept it close, and the offense could not get going despite Alvin Kamara's efforts. They put on decent, but Jameis Winston was the reason in the virtual game that I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's the best thing he does is the deep ball throw, but you got these people flying over their backs, batting the ball down. No, wait, the reason I say that is because to a degree we realize that the best thing Jameis has is the deep ball throw. And we don't need Jameis Winston to be a superstar to guide the team or be a franchise quarterback. We don't need that here. All we need him to do is to be the manager of the game. The Saints are going to rely, and I keep saying this, they're going to rely on a running attack. The running attack is the most reliable thing we have. We're going to run the ball. We're going to have 4 active running backs, which will be Kamara, Latavius Murray, Ty Montgomery, and you pick, it'll be Dwayne Washington or either one of these other young backs. But I wish that whoever we had as a 4th back, that 4th back would also be somebody you would consider using in the offense if it came down to it. But I could see 4 active running backs like this upcoming year, just like we had last year, not including a fullback that could be used as a running back / tight end, H-back, all that kind of stuff. That's what kind of versatility the Saints offense have. But we don't need a quarterback to be a savior, whether it's Taysom or Jameis. You hand the ball over to Alvin Kamara, one of the best, if not the best running back in the NFL. You're throwing the ball to one of the best wide receivers in the business in Michael Thomas, who's going to be 100% healthy. You have a massive security safety blanket in the 6'5", 240+ pound Adam Troutman. You know, you got people, you got speedsters, Deontay Harris and Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith. You got Ty Montgomery's versatility leaking out there. The Saints got weapons all over the place that they can use. And even, like I said, even Coach Payton's fullback is a weapon now. That's one thing he didn't have, was an athletic fullback. And I kept saying it over the last 2 years, even to the point where I was pushing the Saints to go sign the 49ers fullback. And I said, that guy right there would add another dimension to Coach Payton's offense. Well, guess what? Coach Payton said, I ain't getting that guy, but I get the guy from the Carolina Panthers, who's a special teams demon. So he brings him on the team. And see, all of this might not seem like much at first until you get on the field and find out the Saints got people hitting your ass from every direction. And Coach Payton says, see, it's the world is weapon world. That's what you call it. The new Saints offense should be called weapon world. That's what it should be called. Why? Because everything is a weapon that can hurt you in Sean Payton's offense. Not only the quarterback can run over your ass. How many of them guys out there scared to tackle Taysom Hill? Taysom Hill crazy enough, he'll run the man over and stand up there. Oh, that always make me laugh. When I see Taysom, he's crazy. Taysom will run over a defensive back, and then he'll get up and start hopping like a jackrabbit. I said, this fucking guy crazy. Oh, how many of y'all put one in the chat? Y'all see Taysom run over somebody, he hop. Oh, he crazy, he bonkers, but you gotta love it. But see, that's the part that I absolutely love. But he got weapons all over the place. It's weapon world. That's what it is. It's weapon world. You got weapons at the wide receiver, tight end, running back, fullback, every quarterback, everywhere. And don't forget, Jameis Winston is not no damn statue quarterback. Jameis gets out there and runs too. So like I said, man, listen, it's weapon world. And the Saints gonna hit you from every direction. So if, you know, I'm just saying, man, I'm just letting them all know. What's up, Big Low? Big ups to my dog, Big Low, man. How you doing, my brother? Big ups to you. All right. I'm sorry I got back to you late, Low. I've been so busy, man. I've been working with all kind of stuff. I've been having issues with my phone, so I've been getting my notifications late and everything. All kind of stuff. I was telling TJ that, man. He sent me a message. I got it a week. I'm like, what's going on here? You know, big ups to you. Thank you, Big Low, for being here, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Let's see who else we got here as well. Big ups to the family members. See, the family members put one in the chat as well. Weapon world, baby. That's what it is. Black and gold weapon world, baby. Black and gold weapon world. Weapons everywhere. Coach Payton got an athletic fullback that can play tight end, H-back, and line up in the slot. Are you kidding me? You give Payton that? You give Payton a two quarterback system that you can listen. If Jameis struggles, like I was saying in the simulation before I got off track, with jumping Taysom, Jackrabbit Taysom. But when in the terrible simulation where Jameis has a 1 touchdown, 5 interception, 1 fumble game against the Buccaneers in the Dome, by the way, you got a Taysom Hill comes in there, and Taysom Hill could steady the ship for you. Listen, if remember that game against Minnesota a couple years ago. I know y'all don't want to remember, but that game against the Minnesota Vikings in the Dome a couple years ago, Taysom Hill, if they would have gave Taysom Hill that ball more, the Saints would have won that game, because Taysom was one of probably only a handful of guys that was actually coming to play that game. If they would have kept feeding Taysom Hill, they would have beat the Minnesota Vikings that day. They would have beat them. But I'm saying that if Jameis struggles, Taysom is a guy that can come in and give you the spark that you need, or vice versa. So what it does, it creates more matchup problems for the defense to prepare for. And you only have a certain amount of time to prepare for that's the thing. You don't have time you have a certain limited amount of time to prepare for what we're going to do. So you got to tell me you got to prepare for all that Elvin, Mike, Jameis, and all the other guys going to do. And then you got to worry about Taysom as well. Okay. The only issue is you got to balance Taysom Hill's plays. You've got to balance that. You can't be predictable where he comes in there, everybody runs up to the line of scrimmage and says Taysom, and then they crowd the line of scrimmage and put 8 people in the box. You can't do that. You got to be able to say, okay, well, they crouch in the box, and I'm going to pretend like I'm going to run, and then he step back, and he throws the ball down the field to Traquan Smith for a touchdown. He throws the ball down the field to Deontay Harris for the touchdown. He throws the ball down the field to Marquez Callaway for a touchdown. He throws the ball down the field to Kawan Baker for a touchdown. You see what I'm saying? He throws the ball down the field for Alvin Kamara for a touchdown. We got to get that part of the game going. All right. What's up, Elite? Big ups to you, fam. Appreciate you. What's up, King Logic? How you doing, brother? Appreciate you. What's up, Adrian? Who that to you, baby? What's up, brother Pat Rich? Who that to you? Good to see you in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all please feel free to hit the like button, family. Hit the like button if you please. All right, family. So that's going to do it for the show tonight. Listen, man, like I said, I wasn't going to keep you guys for very long with how it's about an hour and 15 minutes. But like I said, man, it's Weapon World. And then, of course, I would play some of the ridiculousness from Ryan Clark that he had another one. I covered it. What's up, Action Jackson? Who that to you, fam? How you been, fam? He said, well, yeah, Big Q. He said, you think we're going to trade for a cornerback taking a long time on signing a corner? All right. Thank you, Action Jackson. Much love to you, my friend. Appreciate you. What's up, Swag fan? Who that to you, brother? Good to see you in the building as well. Big ups to you. I think eventually it's going to happen. Remember, you got 3 weeks, a little less than 3 weeks before the Saints training camp. I think within that time frame, you're gonna see some stuff happen. I know the Saints it's very clear that the Saints need to address the cornerback position with a cornerback. I don't know which one they're going to get, but if you force me to guess, I would say Richard Sherman. Why? Because it's tied to our secondary coach, Mr. Chris Richard. I think that Coach Richard is very serious about building what he called, and this is what him saying. I didn't tell him to come here and say that, but he says he wants to build a Legion of Boom in the New Orleans secondary. So if he's serious about that, he's going to have to bring in guys or players who have experience at that position to help you learn. And I know it ain't going to be Earl Thomas. So right now, Richard Sherman, who you could say was one of the key members of it, because it was only really 3 of them. Them other guys, they don't really matter. I mean, you had Richard Sherman and Earl Thomas. They was the top 2. And then Cam Chancellor was playing, he was knocking your ass off. And the rest of them dudes were just benefactors of it. Maxwell or whatever his name was. He wasn't even, when he left the team, he was sorry. But Richard Sherman was a big part of that movement. Now, if anything, he could teach his principles, because he's a very smart player. I think the Saints secondary benefit massively if Sherman's on the squad. His attention to detail, his seriousness about staying on task. He can check guys like P.J. Williams and Ken Crawley, these guys with the broken necks who can't turn around and locate the ball to make plays on it. I think Richard Sherman challenges that. And I would love to have a guy like that challenges it. If you're going to have Ken Crawley and Patrick Robinson and P.J. Williams on this team, these guys got to understand that they have to turn around and locate the ball to make interceptions. You cannot sit up here and just have a broken neck and just be looking at the guy while the guy looking at the ball. And I'm telling you, listen, man, this is playground, Pee Wee League stuff, is that if you see the wide receiver running up the field and then the wide receiver just, he starts turning around to locate the ball, guess what you're supposed to do? You turn around too. But you know what he do? While the guy turns around, he looking at him. And then he tries to, and most of the time when you make a play on the ball and you're not looking at the ball, they're going to throw a penalty on your ass. You got to be looking back at the ball to make a play on the ball so you don't get a pass interference. So you setting yourself up for failure out the gate anyway. Because if you hit the guy a certain way and you're not looking back for the ball, that's a clear flag that they can throw against you, and they love to flag us like that. So I think Richard Sherman would be probably the best bet to help keep that mentality. If he's really serious about building a Legion of Boom, I think that you have to seriously consider bringing in Richard Sherman. Saints have the money now, and of course they'll readjust the contract or do an extension on Marcus Williams, and then eventually Laddie Daddy gets done, and then it'll open up even more so. So I think they'll eventually get done. We got a few weeks before we do it. All right, USMC say you got me pumped up. Nah, but listen, fam, I'm going to just talk about this a little. What's up, Latrell? Who that to you, brother? Good to see you in the chat. Oh, what's up, brother Damien? How you doing, brother? Appreciate you. All right. He says, speaking of the simulation, Big Q, was that Seattle game we played? We lost that game 2-blah, and what's the record on the sim season? Oh, the Saints right now, I think they're 6, and I want to say they're 5-3 right now, 5-3 on the season. 5-3 on the season. They're 5-3 on the season. But the Seattle game was a replay because I was like, hold on here. I had to say to myself, hold on here. This can't be right. The Saints are not that bad, worse than Seattle. So when I replayed the sim just to make sure that the computer understood, let's do this thing again. And then the Saints had success there. And I was like, okay, I see. But, if I do, it's just, I can't replay them all. That would just spark my interest. But I guess I'll let the family members vote on the replay. If y'all want me to replay that thing, I'll replay it during the week at some point so it don't interrupt with the next Sunday stream. So y'all let me know, do y'all want me to do a replay on that? And I'll spend it sometime during the week. All right. Thank you, Damian, and big ups to you, my brother. All right. Brother Pat Rich says, Q, what about Mike Thomas for touch? There you go, Pat. There you go. I forgot to throw Mike in there. What I'm talking about. Throw Mike in there. That's right, Pat Rich. That's right, brother Pat Rich. Throw Mike up in there. Because Mike gonna show that he can get down the field too. All of this slant guard stuff. He can get down the field too. We're gonna see. All right. Oh, so this is the thing too. Just to mention the Ryan Clark thing for our skedaddle. The Ryan Clark, his recent interview, where he was saying the same stuff he said several weeks ago when I played. What's up, Rob? Who that to you, fam? And my I was like listening to this dude. I was like, man, listen. He was basically saying that the black and gold. Hold on, you know what? I'm just listen because this can become a whole nother show. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just play a little bit of it, and then y'all listen to it. And then what I'm gonna do after that is I'm just gonna say my little stuff, and I ain't gonna keep it long because I got a few more minutes before my next show, and then I'm just have to let it rock on with that. But it's interesting to say the least, man, about Ryan Clark. And why it's just you have no reason to think. And then it switched from Drew Brees not being there anymore. That's why you're going to lose to it being it's about the Saints defense, being that Jameis Winston will have to step up to cover the deficiencies in the Saints defense. Y'all tell me if that sound right to y'all. Because I say, you know what, maybe I'm just thrown off. Maybe I'm just thrown off here. Maybe I'm thrown off here. Maybe I'm thrown off in this scenario. Maybe I'm thrown off because I'm thinking in my head that if you got a guy like the Saints defense, the Saints defense, how is, dealing with Jameis Winston have to covering up for the deficiencies of the Saints defense? And I was sitting up there thinking to myself, what? What the hell you say, man? What's up, RG? Who that to you? Hemisphere, what's up, fam? I said to my, what? What are you talking about? But you know what? I'm going to play him yourself. I'm going to play him and let you listen to him yourself. He was like, Q, you picking on him. No, I ain't picking on him. Just listen to this.
If Jameis does win this starting job, that's...
Hold on here. All right, hold on, fam. It's loading here. It got to load up for his bull, so here we go.
Totally different. Does win this starting job.
That's the hard part, right? This is a totally different team. We don't truly know what this team looks like for 17 games without Drew Brees, what this offense will be.
Okay. We don't know what the team looks like for 17 games without Drew Brees because it never happened before. But you don't have to look at the team for 17 games to find out what the team looks like. They gave you 9 games of the season without Drew Brees. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough? Even if the Saints, even with 9 games without Drew, they win if you give them that extra game. And let's say Drew was out for that extra game. Let's say Drew didn't come back for that Arizona game and he came back for that Atlanta game 2 years ago. Y'all know what I'm talking about? When everybody was Teddy, and Drew hurry up and beat the block back to get back to the quarterback position. The idea was Drew was supposed to wait that Arizona game and then come back after the bye week for Atlanta. Y'all remember that? Now, had that been the case, Drew Brees would have beat the bricks off Atlanta because he would have not come back and lost the game after Jameis Winston took all them win streaks. Drew Brees would have not lost that Atlanta game. Y'all know that and I know that. That could very well have been and put the Saints at a 9 at what was it? Is 8-1? It'd have been 9-1. But even at 9-1 or 8-1, that's still a lot of contests. 2 more games. That's a 10 win plus. That's 10 plus wins right there. That's 10 win season. That gets you closer and closer to the playoffs. So why would I need to see the Saints for 16 or 17 games without Drew Brees at the starter? We give you, it was 8-1, 9 games without him. Now, bear in mind, while he's saying this, the graphic is on the screen showing you what the record is about the Saints. So he can see it just like I can see it, and you can see it.
Obviously, it'll be Kamara heavy, or, we'll see a lot of Michael Thomas, but you lose Cook. You also look at the defensive side, losing Janoris Jenkins, Trey Hendrickson, he moved.
Stepping into Drew.
Hold up, let me set it up.
Error with Jameis Winston because of his more complete throwing skill set. What do you believe the team's ceiling is if
Totally different team? This offense will be, obviously it'll be Kamara heavy, or, we'll see a lot of Michael Thomas, but you lose Cook. You also look at the defensive side, losing Janoris Jenkins, Trey Hendrickson, he moves on to Cincinnati. So this isn't the Saints team we've seen for the last 3 or 4 years. So Jameis Winston is going to have to add to this offense. He's going to have to add an element of pushing the ball down the field. And I believe that this team can be a winning team, but when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being in your
Stop right here. Now, while he talking, he looking at the screen and he's seeing the Saints without Drew Brees. And I've been saying this for a while. Look, 5-0 in 2019, 3-1 in 2020. They're 8-1 without Drew Brees in the time that Drew wasn't there. Now, let's not underscore this. Drew Brees is the first ballot Hall of Famer, the greatest quarterback the Saints have ever known. And he on all of the records, everything. A lot of the wins is because of Drew. But for the team to win without that level of player is absolutely amazing. And only have 1 loss in the games that he didn't play is even more amazing to me, because not all teams could do that. Not all teams could win that amount of games without their starting quarterback. So I say that, and they just go right over the top of it like it's nothing. Like, oh, well, 8-1. No, that is a monster stat of epic proportions for you to win games without your starting level Hall of Fame quarterback there. You don't go a few games above 500, mind you. You go 8-1 without Drew Brees. And could have been a lot more if Drew was patient, if he would have sat down there and waited. Because it could have happened last year. We could have made Drew sit a little longer as well. So, I mean, it's interesting, man, to see it. But even the graphic makers over there know what the stat is. But you never hear him say it out of his mouth. But he keeps this whole little spiel going about the black and gold, where we never seen what they look like with full season without Drew. You don't need to. You got half a season sitting in front of you, 8-1. Put it together. Let's finish this out.
Division, obviously the superior team, but when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being in your division, obviously the superior team with the superior roster.
You heard him. You heard what he said. Tampa Bay being in the division with the Saints is the superior team with the superior roster. You heard what he said out of his own mouth. Who that nation? Black and Gold Nation, Great Saint Think Tank. You heard what Ryan Clark said out of his own mouth, is that the Saints are in a division with a team with a superior team and with a superior roster. Let's hear it again.
Bay Buccaneers being in your division. And I believe that this team can be a winning team, but when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being in your division, obviously the superior team with the superior roster. You think the Carolina Panthers should be better this year, and obviously the Atlanta Falcons changing coaches and probably dialing it back. But this is going to be a tough year for this team. We won't see the 13-4 season. I don't believe we see the 12-5 season. This is going to be a team, to me, that hovers a little bit above 500 unless Jameis Winston truly has an explosive impact on this offense to make up for some of the deficiencies we could see defensively.
What deficiencies are you talking about defensively from the Saints when you don't even break down any deficiencies whatsoever about the defense? You made it all about the offense. So now Jameis has to work hard on the offense to cover up deficiencies for the defense. Man, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. I mean, come on, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Jameis Winston got to work harder to cover up the deficiencies of the defense? Seriously? And the Saints,
stepping into Drew Brees'
enough.
shadow into those footsteps.
Shut up. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all fakers to the throne. Y'all pretenders. How do the Saints hover? You heard it. You heard him say it. I ain't putting words in his mouth. He got enough stuff in his mouth, including his foot and every damn thing else. So I don't need to stuff words in his mouth. But the Saints hover, ooh, like Casper the Ghost or some shit. They hover around 500. Hover around 500, the black and gold, the Saints. This dude say they hover around 500. Man, this dude crazy. And then, of course, Jameis Winston, who they not big on, first of all, will have to do his thing to cover up deficiencies in the defense. What? What deficiencies are they you are talking about when you made it all about the quarterback and the offense? What deficiencies, sir? What are you talking about? They just go from one point to another. You talk about Drew Brees and the losing of such and such, and losing to something. See, what they don't know is the fact that they don't know this team. I keep telling y'all that. You can't possibly know this team the way I know this team, bro. You can't possibly do the type of research and homework we know because you don't have enough time in the day to do what we do covering the Who Dat Nation. You too busy trying to fake the front and follow all them other teams to make it pretend like you do it. And let me tell you something. They got show notes. They got show notes and stats they read off. They read off teleprompters to make them seem like they know what they're doing. Boy, I tell you, boy, if the teleprompters break, boy, they you might well say it, mail in the show. I'm just saying. Now remember, y'all heard it. They are hovering around us. These guys said, Ryan Clark said it, that the Saints are hovering around 500. Did you hear me now? Did you hear that? Okay, now. All right. Just letting you know. But see, that's the type of stuff that these people don't get. If I'm gonna say this and I'm going about my business. That's a whole nother hour. I'm telling you, I can get just a whole nother hour ripping his ass apart. What's up, Collinator? Who that to you? Inevitable. What's up, fam? Big ups to you. What's up? Let's see. Jiminus. What's up, fam? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in the chat. And the rest of the fam's Collinator. And big ups. But listen, I'm going to say this and I'm going to dip on out, fam. What's up, Teal? My dog Teal in the building. Big ups to you, Teal. Good to see you, my brother. All right. So this is the thing that I want to impress upon the Who Dat Nation. The deficiencies in defense. The Saint last year, like I was saying, there was no big surprises in terms of maybe Jack Rabbit surprised us. That Jack Rabbit, because we thought that the Saints would re-sign Jack Rabbit and redo his contract and bring him back to the team. Outside of the Jack Rabbit, big surprises. The rest of these were not surprises. The Saints were prepared for a lot of these transitions. The Trey Hendrickson deal. Trey Hendrickson was a guy that was with the Saints for 4 years. Trey Hendrickson had a spectacular last year for 13.5 sacks. Now, what I'm saying is Trey was a benefactor of the fact that Cam Jordan, David Onyemata, and Malcolm Brown drew double teams. He rarely seen double teams from that side of the defensive line. He beat single blockers the majority of the time to get 13.5 sacks. And the mere fact that you got 13.5 sacks from Trey Hendrickson was a Christmas present that he gave to the Who Dat Nation, because I most certainly wasn't looking for him to do anything like that. It was a Christmas present. But even if he would have got 100 sacks in 1 year, the Saints was not going to keep Trey Hendrickson. We knew this. We covered this, and me and you and everybody knew that Trey Hendrickson was out the door. The Saints were prepared to lose Trey Hendrickson. It was. Just like they were prepared to lose Sheldon Rankins. How many times that we talked about here on the Great Saint Think Tank that it was a battle or a race, a competition between David Onyemata and Sheldon Rankins to get the money. Whoever performed better got the contract, and whoever got the contract first, they wasn't on the team. How often you heard us say that? We knew Sheldon Rankins' days was numbered when David Onyemata got that payday, didn't you? You knew that like I know. Put one in the chat on that, and if you agree with me on that. On these people, the Saints knew that they were not going to keep Trey Hendrickson. They knew they was not going to keep David Onyemata, and they knew certain players that they knew either they couldn't afford or they had better people in their minds that was going to come from behind and fill the role. Now that I said that, the biggest hole that you got on the Saints team is the cornerback position, and that could be really filled to a degree before training camp. Remember, we still got time before camp starts because we really haven't done anything in terms of doing the actual work of football. We've done some lifting and stuff like that, but it's still plenty of time before we get people here. So a lot of these players that the Saints prepared for, they were intelligent enough to know this guy, that guy, we got somebody behind you. Malcolm Brown was another guy. I say, okay, if the Saints, either they rework Malcolm or they get rid of him, he was in trouble. Y'all knew that too. Look at all of them damn ones in there. Y'all knew Malcolm Brown wasn't going to be with the Saints next year. I would like to, what's up, G-Ree? What's up, Shane? Big ups to you, fam. We knew at some point that the Saints was not going to keep Malcolm Brown. Either they were going to release him. Remember when we did all of those shows when I used the actual tools from Sport Track and was showing you contracts laying out and was cutting the people? Y'all remember that? Remember, I was like, they ain't going to keep this guy. They're not going to keep this guy. Either they rework his contract or they release him, yada, 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 yada. Y'all remember that? Put one in the chat if you remember that. So what I'm saying and what I'm trying to show you is, and I'm not just trying to say, okay, Q, yeah, you was right. We was right here. And that's not the point. The point is we knew that a lot of these players was not coming back this year, and not just because of the money, because the Saints felt like they had better or people that can contribute in a way that was behind them. Jalen Dalton was a guy that they believe could play the defensive tackle position, the nose tackle position. He was balling in training camp last year before he had a lower extremity injury. Remember him? There's King Tut, Shy Tuttle. There's Malcolm Roach, Ryan Glasgow, and several other players that have shown that they can help. Now listen, there's also the fact that the Saints, some of these people might not be single players that come in and replace a certain player. It might be a group approach. It could be a group approach to replace certain characters, because the Saints have shown that they have no problem in cycling in defensive people, especially on the defensive line. You've seen Roach, Glasgow. How often you seen guys, Dennis Allen, roll out fresh defensive linemen to keep the pressure, and I call it pass rush in waves and waves and waves and waves, because he's constantly introducing fresh defensive players into the mix that's constantly creating pressure on people. Now, we know that Sheldon wasn't going to be here, and Sheldon's a big loss, but that don't mean that the Saints can't at least fortify his position. If not one player, maybe two, maybe three. Why? Because they had the depth. Y'all know who these players are. Y'all know who Malcolm Roach is and how good he is. Y'all know about King Tut. Y'all know about Ryan Glasgow. Y'all know about Jalen Dalton. Y'all know about Granderson. You know about all these guys. Why? Because you know you've done the homework and you did the research on these players. These guys, all these networks would not dirty their hands to find out who behind Rankins or anybody else could step up and perform. They don't care. All they sit up here and say, well, you got a hole because you lost him. That means you're going to go downhill. I mean, it's ridiculous. But the talking point was at first Drew Brees, because he's not there. You're not going to make the playoff because Drew Brees here. And then they start hitting his ass with the statistic that graphic I showed you, which shows the Saints 8-1. He couldn't say that no more. So he had to change the agenda to say that, Jameis Winston's going to have to step up to cover deficiencies in the defense. What deficiencies? You never spoke about deficiencies of the defense. Your spiel was always the Saints were going to lose and not make the playoffs because Drew Brees is not there, sir. So what deficiencies? You talked about players missing, but you didn't talk about deficiencies. So, I mean, in the end, these guys don't know what they're talking about. You don't know. And I'm telling you, stop talking about the Saints unless you do the real work, because you're making yourself look stupid as hell, even stupider than you look already and sound already. The Saints are going to hover around 500. What kind of bullshit is that? With Elvin Kamara and Mike Thomas and the pissed off Saints defense, they're going to hover around 500? Man, listen, I played that for y'all to remember that, man. Y'all remember what that fool said, the Saints are going to hover around 500. Because when the Saints start kicking ass in the season and start whipping on some tail, watch this clown, this yellow spineless jackass come up and say, I like the Saints to beat the such. They showed me. Man, shut up. I don't want you no kind of way around here talking about the Saints and picking the Saints. Them guys are a pack of scum and fakers, man. These are like actors. These dudes don't do no real homework. They don't do no real homework. These guys are into spell casting and illusionary shit. I'm talking about doing the work, not pretending like you're doing the work. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, listen, that'll do me. I got to get up out of here. I got to go. Before I tear off another piece, stick my foot so far, Brian Clark ass. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all for joining me on the show. Please hit upon the like button. And listen, share the stream on your social media. It helps us out a lot. If you want to help out the platform, feel free to go to the patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. The link is in the description section. And join our Patreon or become a YouTube member, man. So with that being said, I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. I'm off to the Pelican post-game report, followed by Ring Kings Boxing. Who that to the family? Much love to you, and I'm out.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is Saints Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
whothatdaily.com. That's right, the whothatdaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelican, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, the whothatdaily.com is your site. The whothatdaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of it.